Hello, welcome back to Skill Building 201, my YouTube channel, and I'm Diane. We're on our third workshop, which is dealing with difficult people, and this is part 2. Last time we talked about, to review very quickly, the difficult person standing in front of you, presenting that way as difficult, could be so many other things. They could be frustrated, and that's a biggie. That's probably, if you're in customer service, that's what you deal with all day long. Frustrated people, the thing they bought doesn't work, or they've been shuffled from person to person, either on the phone or in person. They are just kind of frazzled and frustrated. So any customer service person knows that you need to let them talk it out, to vent, and then to calm down, and then you can start dealing with them. So they could be frustrated. They could also be any number of other things. There are all kinds of disabilities that they may have that makes them present as different to most people. They could be autistic. They could have schizophrenia or another mental illness. They could have ADHD. There are so many things that could be going on with that person. They could be suffering grief. They could be exhausted and can't sleep. There's just so much that could be going on with that person. So realize and have compassion, and don't immediately jump to the conclusion that they are a difficult person. We are going to, my hope is that I'm going to give you a tote bag of skills that you can reach in and pull out the one that you want to use or to try. A lot of these if you've been around anywhere, you know a lot of these. But my hope is that you'll find maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that are new, that you'd like to try, and that may or may not work. So hopefully you will find that. We are breaking down the skills into basic skills, shut it down skills, and open it up skills. Specifically, we're in basic skills right now, and we've already done number 1 that we're going to talk about a little bit before we move on, just to review. When somebody is saying something to you and that they are presenting as a difficult person, try not to do the first thing you think of doing, because very often you're going to be sorry later. You'll wish you had handled it differently. Just stop and breathe. If you've ever taken stress management, the first thing they tell you to do is to stop and breathe. That also gives you a chance to center. Remember centering? We've done that one before. What is my body doing? What am I feeling? Emotions. What am I thinking? And what do I want? Now, that seems like a lot to do right there at the moment. I know that. But it's amazing how quickly you can do that. You can learn to if you work at it. And the thing that you end up doing once you're really proficient is you're scanning for your weak spot, your trouble spot, and you acknowledge it, and you realize that you need coping skills around that. So that's centering. And then you're going to be choosing the way that you'd like to respond, and that's where hopefully your tote bag will come in handy. And you might want to try something different from what you've tried before. Okay, the second one is depersonalize. If you've read the 4 agreements, the second agreement is never take anything personally. The author says, whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. Don't take anything personally. They are acting out of their personal problems, their own agenda. Okay, that being said, if you've blown it, then take it personally. If somebody that you care about comes to you and says, you really hurt my feelings, you really made me angry, you misrepresented something, stop and look at it, and we'll talk more about open it up. But then you do need to take it personally, and you're going to need to apologize, and you're going to need to listen to them. So, yes, depersonalize on a general level out there in the world, just blow off things that people say. We'll talk about more skills for doing that. But generally realize that if somebody is coming at you in a way you don't understand, it's them. Okay. The third one is detach. This one has been life-changing for me. I could call it be zen. I had a business for a few years, GroupWorks, and it was to help with communication and morale within organizations. And I would find companies or organizations that I thought might be able to use my help, and I would find out who was in charge and write that person a letter explaining what it is I have to offer, and telling them that I would call them in a couple of weeks. Well, the time came for me to call, and I found myself calling and saying to myself as it was ringing, I hope they're not there, I hope they're not there, because it was intimidating, and I didn't know what to expect, and I knew I was putting myself on the spot. So at the same time, my friend became a Mary Kay representative, cosmetic company, and she went to a national convention, and in it they talked about picking up that 1,000-pound phone. All of a sudden, I had an epiphany about that. It is, that's how I'm treating it, as a 1,000-pound phone. But in reality, all I want to know is if they're interested or not. If they might say, no, I'm not interested, and hang up on me. Well, that's all right. They made their desire known. They might say anywhere along the gamut, all the way until, yes, I'm interested, let's make a meeting and talk about it. And I realized that whatever they said or did, it would be fine. If enough people said yes and it went well, I would keep doing this. If everybody said no, I would stop doing it and do something else. If I did it, but it didn't work out well a few times, I would readjust, or I would stop doing it and do something else. So I gave up my attachment to the outcome, and I found it simply interesting. I have a friend that says expectations are the worst enemy of relationships, and she may be right. I gave up expectations, and I gave up my attachment to how it should go. And by the way, nobody was ever rude to me on the phone, so it all went well. By the way, that's carried over into my normal life too, my personal life. If we're with people talking about something controversial and my husband disagrees with me, later he will often say, I bet you wish I'd backed you up. And I always say, every time I say, no, I want your real opinion. That's what's important. That's why we're having the conversation anyway, is to get all these different ideas. So that's, again, it's been life-changing. I've become far more zen about everything, and that's for the best. Okay. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time, and we will start on number 4. Thank you.